My name is Rose. I'm the social worker here.
Nice to meet you. I'm Jess.
Thank you for meeting with me today. So, as you know, the session was scheduled by your parents, but before we begin, I do want to let you know that this is a safe place for you to talk and discuss freely about anything. But of course, I'm a mandated reporter, so if at any point you disclose a threat to yours or someone else's safety, you do understand that I would have to report that.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, great. I want you to feel comfortable, so if at any time something comes up that you don't feel comfortable about discussing with me, please feel free to let me know. Also know that I'm here to listen to you and help you with anything that you need.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so before we begin, you want to tell me a little bit about how school has been going for you lately?
It's been okay. I haven't been doing so well in some of my classes, which makes me stressed, as well as my parents are mad at me. I feel like such a disappointment and so stupid.
Okay, it sounds like you've been dealing with a lot lately in school and both at home. School subjects can be very difficult to overcome sometimes, but there are people that can help you via tutoring. Have you ever considered it or done tutoring?
No, not really.
Okay, well, if you would like, we can definitely look at some options later. Tutoring can be a great tool to utilize while in school.
Okay, that's something that I would be open to.
Great. Now, you mentioned a little bit about your relationship with your parents. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Well, my relationship with my parents is fine. I know they love me and care about me a lot. I just don't feel like I'm good enough to be their daughter. My parents expect a lot from me, and I don't know if I can do that.
Okay, it's great to hear that you have a great relationship with your parents. But from the sound of it, do you feel that they're supportive of you over everything?
Yeah, I mean, my mom and dad are very religious, so they always support me as well as implement their faith when it comes to handling their problems. The faith they've shown me helps me a lot.
Okay, faith is definitely a strong belief that helps get people through difficult times, so I'm glad to hear that you utilize it. Besides your faith, are there any other things you like to do or things that help you when you're going through a difficult time?
Well, I have self-harmed in the past.
Okay. Self-harm, can you explain to me what you do or what you mean by self-harm?
Yeah, well, I like to deal with what I'm feeling in times when I'm going through something. I cut myself intentionally.
Okay, to help me better understand, when you cut, how does that make you feel?
Good. It makes me forget about what I'm going through in that moment.
Okay, and in that moment, what makes you want to self-harm?
Whenever I get into arguments with my parents or I'm just feeling down, I just cut and it helps.
Okay, you mentioned that when you feel down, you tend to utilize self-harm. Does that happen often?
Yeah, well, I just don't see much joy in things anymore. Sometimes I just don't see the point.
The point to what exactly do you mean?
The point to living. I just am tired, honestly.
Okay, that's a pretty serious point you're bringing up. Have you ever talked to anybody else about how you're feeling?
No, like I feel that I can handle it and will just eventually take care of it on my own.
Okay, and when you mean take care of it on your own or handle it, what exactly do you mean?
Everything. I've just decided I will eventually be gone from this world and will eventually, I'll be okay with it.
Okay, death is a very serious topic to discuss, and by the sound of it, you're very mature and insightful when it comes to it. You understand that we at some point will go through it, but the way that it will happen varies. Do you ever feel that in the moment when you're going through a difficult moment or when you're feeling down that you feel the need or desire maybe to die?
Yeah, there have been times where I've tried to or thought about it.
Okay, when you say tried, what exactly do you mean?
Well, I have considered in the past ending my life a lot and have tried to do it.
So you had a suicide attempt in the past.
Yes.
Okay, have you ever told anybody about this?
No, I actually haven't.
Okay, well, thank you for opening up about this and telling me. I know that it's not easy to talk about these things to anybody, especially an adult. You're very brave, and I appreciate that about you. Would it be okay to ask some further questions about this topic to help me better understand what I can do to help you?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask you a brief summary form that'll ask you questions that are about depression and suicide also, just to help me get a better understanding or idea of how to best help you.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about your mood, but has your mood been very high or very low lately? How would you describe your mood?
I would say low mood for sure.
Okay. And do you tend to get very irritated lately, or
Yeah.
yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. What about lack or pleasure, interest in things that you typically like to do?
Definitely lacks pleasure.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
what?
I used to hang out with my friends a lot, go to the movies and the mall, and I used to do a lot of activities outside that I just don't find it fun anymore. I don't have the motivation to do those kind of things.
So what do you do instead?
I isolate a lot in my room.
Okay.
I just don't want to be around people. And I watch a lot of TV.
Okay. And do you have a lot of sleep disturbances? Do you have a difficult time falling asleep or waking up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have trouble sleeping sometimes, kind of a lot.
Okay. And any appetite or weight change?
Somewhat. I don't really have much of an appetite anymore.
Okay. Any feelings of guilt or worthlessness?
Yes.
Okay. Any feelings of hopelessness?
Yes.
What about any loss of energy or fatigue?
Yes.
Any decreased concentration? Do you have a difficult time staying on task in class, or?
Yeah, my mind wanders a lot in class, so I can't concentrate.
Okay. And these ones are going to be a little bit more on the suicide side. So you did mention that you've had thoughts of suicide in the past, correct?
Yes.
What, in the moment when you did have those thoughts, are there any specific triggers that trigger you to have these thoughts?
My mood, bad days, arguments with my parents, and my grades.
Okay. And how often would you say that you have these thoughts?
Very often.
Okay.
This morning I cut and I thought about killing myself.
Any attempt this morning?
No.
And do you have any suicide plan?
Yes.
Okay. Like what?
I know where my dad's gun is, in my house, so I would probably use that, or I would jump off the building, or I would hang myself.
Okay. And do your parents know that you know where the gun is?
I don't think so.
Okay. So you do have a lot of passive thoughts you mentioned, like thoughts of wishing you were dead or just not wanting to wake up?
Yes.
Okay. And in the moment when you're having these thoughts, would you describe it as a high or a low intent to die? When you're having that thought, do you really, really want to die? Or is it just kind of in the moment? Or is it constant thoughts?
I would say that it's pretty high. When I have thoughts, they're about a 10. Right now, I would say it's about an 8.
Okay. And you did mention that you've had attempts in the past. How many would you say that you've had?
I've had 2.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit more about those attempts?
Yeah, I tried to overdose on sleeping pills, but I ended up waking up I tried to hang myself, but I couldn't find the rope to hold my weight.
Okay. And when was this attempt?
Last Monday.
Last Monday? And did you tell anybody?
No.
Okay. And so when you did have this attempt, was it planned or would you say it was kind of impulsive?
It was definitely planned.
Planned?
Yeah.
How so?
I thought about doing it prior, and I had gone to the store to buy the pills, and so I thought about it days before.
So you definitely planned it.
Yes.
Okay, and did you seek any medical attention after waking up?
No.
No? Okay. Those sleeping pills can definitely do some harm
Yes.
to your body.
Yeah.
I would like to maybe further get you some medical attention just to make sure that everything's okay. So do you have any alcohol or drug use?
Sometimes I get drunk on purpose
Okay.
just to kind of numb it out.
And have you ever had thoughts of maybe using alcohol or drugs as a type of attempt? Because you can overdose on drugs.
I've thought about it, but I haven't done it before.
Okay. So right now you mentioned that you're at an 8. That's pretty high. You rate pretty high on both the depression and the suicide scale. And I know you mentioned you hadn't spoken to anybody about this, but I think you could definitely benefit from some counseling. Would that be something that you'd be open to, or maybe we could look into?
Yeah, I would.
Okay. And then just so you know, you did mention that you had some suicide attempts, and this is some stuff that I would definitely have to report. I'm going to have to call either your mom or your dad, just to kind of get them on board of what's going on. And all of us are here to help you. Is that okay? Are you comfortable with me doing that?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah? Okay. Who would be the best contact?
Probably my mom.
Your mom. Can I have her number?
Yeah, it's 480 236 1432.
Okay. I'll definitely go ahead and call her in just a moment. But for today, I'm going to say that we take you for further evaluation somewhere. It's just so that they can evaluate you better somewhere else, so that you can get that treatment and help today instead of waiting. Is that okay with you if we do that?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. And before we do that, before I do call your parents and before we go on and do the further stuff, I would like to give you a sheet just going back to the tutoring so that you can have that as a resource.
Yeah.
So these are some tutors in the area. They're free, so you wouldn't have to worry about paying or any of that stuff. They are voluntary. They help you with math, English, whatever subject you need, they can help you with that, as long as you call and just book an appointment. This is a list that I'm gonna show you, but it's gonna be mostly for your parents, just so that we can get you into some counseling services. These are all counselors that are in the area as well. They take all types of insurances, and if you don't have insurance, we can definitely help you with that as well. So I would just keep this sheet, show it to your parents. I'll give them a copy as well, and we can go ahead and get you into some services, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Ooh.